What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. Happy Monday. How is everyone? How has it been your first trading day of the month? So, as you know, today we are going to go through all the pre-market analysis in terms of looking for opportunities to trade tomorrow. So this is a way for us to prepare and to plan for tomorrow's trading session. If you are new, feel free to subscribe. We are going to go through different assets, FX, indices, a little bit of crypto as well, and commodities, gold and oil. So feel free to share with me your levels, what you're looking for, and you can look at them together. As always, I always start with dollar index. Reason for that is because dollar index is basically the reference to understand what we can expect from many other assets, not just FX, but also maybe the indices can give us a clue on what we're looking for, and many others. But before that, let's take a look at the news as well. So today we had manufacturing PMI across Europe, UK, and US. It was in Eurozone, it doesn't look good at all. All right, so we are at continue to be below 50. We are below 50 in everywhere, but especially in France and German, as you can see in here, it came out even worse than expected. In Eurozone, it came out actually as expected at the 45.2. In the UK, it continues to be a little bit lower than 50 as well, at 48. So that's concern. How that is concerned, because especially in Eurozone, the risks of potentially having a recession is quite high, and that's a concern. Also, in terms of what Christine Lagarde can do in the next meeting in terms of cutting rates, maybe she's going to be forced to do so to try to see if it can create some kind of stimulus into the Eurozone. However, there's always the risk of inflation coming back up, and that's kind of the double sword that Christine Lagarde needs to play with and to manage that correctly. So we'll see what's going to happen in the next and in the last ECB meeting that's going to happen this year. In the US it was slightly better, but still below 50. So that's basically what we have. But for the remaining of the week, as you know, is the first week of the month, and as always we have NFP. So it's going to be with plenty of labor data being announced throughout the week, starting tomorrow already with the job openings. Then we have EDP, non-farm payroll, and then unemployment claims, and then NFP on Friday. And that's basically the main catalyst of this week. We do have Pedro not testifying, but speaking in a conference on Wednesday. I think he's in New York. So maybe he's going to say something. We haven't heard from him for quite a while. So maybe he's going to share something. Maybe the market's going to move as well on Wednesday. Now, looking at the market. All right. So looking at what you can expect in here on the dollar index. So what we have is the following. All right, so price basically managed to, we open a little bit with a gap to the downside, but then starts move to the upside in here. Dollar index actually managed to create slightly new lows. Euro dollar just kept respecting the same structure. Pound dollar also kept respecting the same structure. That was just something that you could see in there. So yesterday, if you guys watched the weekly market analysis, we were looking, or we asked the question, if the dollar index comes back into this level, should you be looking for price to kind of move to the downside, basically trying to look for this level as a double top, or should you be basically expect eventually dollar index to continue to move towards to the upside and continue this bullish momentum that was created since the beginning of October, which in my opinion, again, we are still in a bullish kind of trend. We did manage to break the structure. We also managed to break that high as well, and eventually I would like to see dollar index, and I believe it's going to happen eventually, going to get a little bit closer to this next level in here. But as always, anytime you do manage to break an important high and also that important structure on the left side, we are going to have these retracements, and that's the best opportunity to have some kind of deeper retracements. Now in the lower time frame, we did manage to break this structure, so that's definitely a low that was taken in here. No surprise whatsoever. and that can also open the door for price to go even further down in this time frame that you're looking at, and perhaps filling this range in here before aiming to go to the upside again. So that's something to bear in mind. We do have perhaps still this left shoulder in there. Price is reacting from this demand that was created in there as well. So yeah, that overall, again, as I mentioned, bigger picture, we may have that bigger engulf to the upside, showing that price moves to go higher, but on the a little bit smaller time frame, again, still a 4-hour time frame, but it's smaller comparing with the bigger picture that we're talking about. Price actually managed to break a wall, which opens the door a little bit for price to move to the downside. Like, that's basically what we were looking for already since last week. For that correction, price did made that move, and now it's about to see if price is going, how price is going to position itself for Friday when you do have the NFP. So that's what eventually we're going to be looking for. So as we mentioned yesterday, is there anything in here at the highs that can still hold price to the downside? Right, and that will be the question. This was kind of an aggressive move in here. Price closed the gap with this high in there, and maybe there's something a little bit higher in here that eventually price can eventually go towards to. There's maybe even in here as well, and then yeah, this is basically maybe where price is reacting right now. It's one of the last zones in here. Maybe price even reacted to it, to be honest. Yeah, there are maybe a few. I'm not the biggest fan when price just kind of pauses in the middle. If you're about even to extend this level in here, maybe price already reacted from it in there. So we'll see. We will see. Right, on the other side, we do have basically a little bit of the structure. This is always nice to see, and price maybe just fake out the level. Wait, second. I want this one. Right, you may have this structure in there, which created a little bit of a double top. Price actually managed to break the wall even before then making this level. So this starts to look like a potential also turn in there, right? So we can have a little bit of this structure at this point. Somewhere in here we did manage to break that level, create a double top. That's usually kind of a nice pattern in there. Price made this strong push up, and we'll see if price by any chance how price may going to react from here is going to be interesting. If price just keeps respecting this level in here, we may just continue to push the downside from where we are. If this level basically starts holding, then you can push a little bit more to the upside. So those are the two extremes in here at this point that can matter a little bit on the dollar index, right? Depending on how price actually navigates between these levels. Yeah, this demand zone can still, of course, work as well. Yeah, that's actually where price opened. So that one was the previous day. Yeah, this is actually where price opened, similar to the euro dollar. There was no wall being broken. Said it incorrectly before. That wall actually was respected. So yeah, that's the wall for this week so far, right now, in there. So that's something to pay attention to. We'll see. So somewhere in there, again, there are a few zones in here. I want to continue to see what's going to happen. I don't really have a proper bias. I pay attention to both of the breaks of structure that we have in the different time frames, but we'll see now what's going to happen in here. Moving along, let's take a look at US indices. So S&P continue the move to the upside. All right, so a little bit of no surprise with that. Again, still continue to track that level. It can be quite interesting eventually. Yeah, that one not so much. Yeah, we can potentially start tracking a little bit of a trend line in here. It's always nice to see it, because that's what many traders also pay attention to. So it's nice to see when they are expecting the trend line to be worked, so they can maybe collect liquidity of those traders that trade the trend line as well. Now we do have still this demand zone 100%, and it's really nice now that we have this new low in here in between, which can attract people into buys at around this level. Meanwhile, the real demand zone is actually still fresh, so that's always nice, because price can easily break out this level in here and then push to the upside. Again, this level in here is going to turn many people into looking for shorts when this low is broken. So that can always be now the interesting part. Like, and that's usually a little bit how it starts eventually to play out in here of manipulation, either as a continuation or eventually as a turn as well. Breaking below this low, that makes me maybe more bearish, and breaking below this low doesn't really make me that bearish at this point. So again, if price just wants to continue to go higher, it can just continue to go higher. Everything is fine if that's about to happen. We'll see. Right, we'll see what's going to happen until we eventually start having these turns. Of course, you can even go a little bit more into the lower time frame. We do have this one in here as well to pay attention to. Now, Nasdaq is actually reacting from the last zone in here. In reality, that zone in here was actually still fresh. I don't believe that that high reacted exactly from the level. So that was something also to bear in mind. In here, it actually reacted. Maybe another server it didn't. But we do have that level. Maybe that's exactly where price is reacting as we speak. And yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen at around this level. Similar as well, we do have this structure in here, which price at this point is still holding it. If you do manage to break below that level, then starts opening the door. Now, when you're looking into the lower time frame, yeah, okay, nothing. All right, in the 15 minutes, yeah, it looks like maybe price had broken slightly low in here, but just to react from that level, when you start looking into the lower time frame, we see that basically how the compression starts in here. It did manage to break below that low. That's a little bit of something in there, but now of course you do have this structure in here that's holding Nasdaq to the upside. Again, if you start showing a little bit of signs of bearish signs in here, maybe then you can look for a reversal, maybe respecting the highs, getting some kind of double top from where it is at this point in here. All right, so that's definitely something in here. Dow just continues. All right, so it's starting to show some rejection. So basically the sellers are starting to say hello in here, so are starting to be quite active. We did manage to fake out that high, all of a sudden just respecting that left shoulder, and that's what basically we have at this point. Price start to break a little bit of those lows. Again, you do have that structure, and now a new low being broken in here, so it starts to show some weakness, which is exactly what you want to be looking for in here as well, right? You start having a little bit of that break, now kind of a little bit of this one was also broken. It starts to show some weakness. Now, is this the high? It was quite aggressive. I think it was around the US Open, where it had this big rally and then a complete sell-off. So that was literally around the US Open. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen from here, but it starts to show a little bit of weakness, and perhaps we can have one last push, or price may just react from here and then start move to the downside. All right. Yeah, we'll see. DAX, big surprise, which is it just continues to go higher, right? We continue to have negative data coming from German, and DAX continues to just break all-time highs, right? So that was the level that we were looking for as well, to see if price kind of would break or not, right? We do have this worst extreme in there, but this was the one that was the demand zone, and price just respected, so there was no break in here. And then price just gained more momentum. Of course, eventually at this point, we are going to be looking for DAX to come back into this structure again, at least one more time, right? So that eventually is going to be a potential short opportunity that we can look for at around this level. Not this level, whenever price starts to show that indication that it's starting to show weakness and eventually to turn, right? I don't know exactly from where it is. Basically, I'm going to wait for price to show us that behavior, right? Just being patient at this point in here. But yeah, eventually getting closer to this level, that's definitely a potential target for initial sell that you have, which can then lead into a potential long from these levels in here. All right, so that's definitely something to bear in mind, with the previous all-time high in there. Bitcoin, right? So again, there you go. If you guys recall, yesterday we definitely talked about this level. So we mentioned exactly this supply level that was still fresh. That was yesterday. As the stream was occurring, price was still underneath this level, and I did mention that the way price moved away from this level, it looks like that there was a new supply being created in there, and we were starting to break some lows in here. That was a great reaction overnight into this supply, and now price actually starting to break a little bit of a few lows in here. So we will see. Then this was also created. That was something that we shared this morning with the guys. Opportunity to look for a sell as well, as price was creating. When you do fake out this left shoulder, kind of it creates a new set of orders in here. Nice supply level again, and one more time, good reaction from this level. So yeah, we'll see. It's fighting. It's not really managing to go towards 2, and now we are going to be looking at these lows in here to see what's going to happen on BTC. Of course, you do have also this structure in here that maybe price can find some orders. Ethereum as well, right? So Ethereum at this point, if you guys recall, that's exactly the level that I was looking for on Ethereum. Again, it reacted from it overnight, right? This was exactly the level in here. I mentioned that if price by any chance would break above this level, then eventually it would quite easily just move towards its level, which was all compressed in here, and now it's reacting from that zone in there on Ethereum, which will be a fresh supply level that was left behind, and price now is reacting from it really nicely, basically. So basically, what can we expect now, right? So that's what we're going to be trying to predict. So at this point, I see this level in here as a reference. Okay, so breaking below this wall can start seeing a little bit, or can start opening the door for price to go even further down. So that's something that I'll be paying attention to. What we have as well is that price had already even broken a low in here as well, even though kind of respect that structure. And eventually I wouldn't be surprised if this Ethereum would get a little bit closer to this level again. Okay, 3,100, something like that, right? So again, we called the move towards this 3,700. The price now reacted from it, and you're going to see and pay attention, see what's going to happen at around this level. Is price going to break below or not, opening the door a little bit? And then again, just similar to BTC, we do have perhaps still orders at around this level that price can still react from and continue to push downside. Price already reacted from this one, so yeah, we'll see if we do manage to break below that wall in here, but it starts to quite interesting. Yeah, Solana as well, after picking out the highs, kind of let's see how price may react from this demand zone. That's basically the key level in here at this point. But yeah, looks like that price is starting to show some weakness as well. Then we have that Ethereum, Bitcoin, which with price kind of pausing a little bit, but again the target is still a little bit higher. And yeah, that's basically what we have in here on crypto. Looking at the other currency pairs, right? So looking at the Euro index is something that we were looking as well. Kind of nice trend line that was in there being created. Again, we are still bearish in here on the Euro pairs and Euro index, but something that we also mentioned, that price didn't even manage to break or to close the gap from last week. Basically, it did it now, right? And it can continue. It can continue to push a little bit lower. Just curious to see how price may react after taking this level. That can be the zone where price eventually can go towards to. Before aiming to go higher. Of course, you can go a little bit more into the lower time frame to see what's going to happen in here. Yeah, so that's basically a bit of the structure. That's the one that we have in here, but that's actually the demand zone where price is reacting from. We do have this structure in here. Yeah, and that's basically the decision point. It was in between this level, price broke and then came back up, right? So again, I'm not really sure if there's anything in here below that's going to hold price. Something to bear in mind. Yeah, we'll see in here on Euro index. And then the Yen index, this is one that I'm going to literally look for potential trades. All right, so I do like this level. I really like, not this level, but I like that the way the Yen index moved today. I created the momentum. All right, it kept holding this low, so there is no break in here, which is kind of created that bullish momentum. Price didn't really respect that much from that level. Now it's getting closer in here. And I do believe that you can get in closer to potential reversal or at least some retracement in here on the dollar index. It's been quite bullish, even on the daily, weekly time frame. is starting to approach that level, so maybe we can have a little bit of selling pressure in here. Price respected perfectly this demand zone on a weekly, even on daily time frame, and now it may getting closer to that weekly maybe supply level that we have in here. Basically the origin that managed to then continue with this move to the downside, so that's potentially a zone to pay attention in here, right? And as a consequence, then you're going to be looking for longs on the individual yen pairs, pound yen, euro yen, Aussie yen, and so on, right? Again, they are quite extended to the downside as well, which makes it quite interesting. So yes, at this point, price basically reacted from somewhere in here, and there's even potentially the count of these highs into more of that structure to pay attention to. So that's something to look for in here on the yen index. Yeah, definitely that's going to be on my radar. As you can see, we start having already some reaction in here. Of course, this is still the next structure that price needs to or can hold price, and it's doing it. Is there anything in here that I want to see? I think no. I think the high could actually be taken one more time, and then yes, and then you could start looking for that trade. All right, so price could go a little bit more again, slowly, then and then eventually takes, and then yes, and then potentially can use even this high in here as a nice left shoulder in there, and price could turn a little bit or go even slightly higher. Maybe instead of just turning from where it is, it could just continue to go a little bit more, kind of having some kind of reaction, and then kind of continue to go until it gets into that next zone, and then it can turn. Yeah, definitely something to bear in mind in here on the yen index. I do like it, and I do think that it's going to be quite interesting to look for. Looking at the individual currency pairs. All right. Again, the yen pairs, when you use yen index to trade the yen pairs, it's just it's almost perfect. Looking at the individual currency pairs, so it's just going to there. All right, so we have euro dollar, which corrected to the downside, so basically same as the dollar index. That high managed to continue to hold price, and then price just continued to move lower again. It's a bit in the middle. Price already reacted a few times from this range. I could see price potentially go a little bit more to the downside. Is price going to react from here? It's literally in the middle. I don't really like it that much at this point on the euro dollar. It was a good level where price reacted, right? As you mentioned, basically that was the last high that created this low in here. Price did react from it. There was still even that level slightly higher in there that price could react as well. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the euro dollar is going to do. I could see several options, and therefore I'm going to continue to wait a little bit longer to see what's going to happen. And I don't really think it's going to stay in this range throughout all week. Okay, I think it's going to be some momentum even tomorrow with the job openings. I think that's going to be quite an interesting news event to look for. Pound continued to respect this supply level, perfect level, and then just move to the downside from here. So it created the structure itself, and then basically created that supply, which price ended up reacting in here. Basically just retesting now this previous level support resistance. I think that's maybe something that we talked about yesterday. And yeah, we'll see what's going to happen next in here. This can definitely be a good level to look for a bounce, even in alignment with these lows as well. So yeah, it kind of looks like an interesting zone. Yeah, we'll see. Did manage to break something here, but just literally reacting from this middle range. Yeah, we'll see. We've seen here on the pound dollar. Euro pound also moved quite a lot. All right, so it retested now these lows in here and start moving a little bit more to the upside. So that's still the question mark. What's going to happen here on this euro pound? definitely the question mark. Again, a lot of compression on the way down, but basically still finding some level of support in here at 0.82. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, we will see. It could take out these lows and then could react from something and start pushing a little bit more to the upside. Yep, we'll see. Start breaking some structure as well. Aussie dollar, good reaction. Oh, there you go. Oh, okay. Interesting one. Yeah, it came all the way back in here to react from the demand zone. All this time, that didn't really. Oh, it was still fresh, and that's basically where price came all the way down in here to react from, which makes it. Yeah, it just makes it interesting. Fake out this low again. We do have that high being broken, and we have this one in here, but price kind of never really managed to break new highs in there. But now this move is quite aggressive. Again, the Aussie dollar is a tricky one in here for me because again I could see eventually price moving a little bit closer to something in here, or basically just even go all the way through. Yeah, it's kind of creating a lot of range in here. I think even though we fake out that level and it kind of broke a little bit in here, that may not be still the final fake out of this level. Maybe need a bigger one before actually price turns to collect liquidity actually from all these traders. If the Aussie dollar actually wants to go higher from here. Yeah, slowly this end of the day kind of a trades where price just continues to move slowly in one direction. All right, now looking at the other Aussie pairs, like starting with Euro Aussie, which we talked about. Again, price did manage to break a new low in there. That's interesting. And then you may have some kind of potential reaction from here as well. Yeah, so we will see. Euro Aussie, that's going to be an interesting one as well to see if it's going to go slightly lower or not. If it starts pushing lower, then Aussie dollar is going to go higher. So yeah, that's going to be something to pay attention. May have something here and of course something in there as well to pay attention to. We did manage to start breaking some lows in here. We did manage to break this low again. So we may start actually open the door to go all the way, at least to test this zone. On Aussie, yeah, it just continues to go as well. Aussie yen just continue to move to downside, just like all the other yen pairs, continue to feel the remaining of the next level. So initially that was a little bit, now price is reacting from this level, which is quite good. All right, that was one of the fresh levels in here, even below that that zone in here. We could even perhaps extend it a little bit. And there you go. Price gains momentum, never really closed the level, and now is reacting from it. Yeah, is now price ready to find some kind of reversal? Perhaps. This is a good level. It's definitely a good level. We start having this correction as well, a little bit in here on these yen pairs. Of course, price is going to be paying attention to this level in here. Yeah. Right. Next, dollar yen. Right. So dollar yen continues to move to the downside. It broke below that initial demand zone and eventually could continue to go a little bit lower. In here, I talk about close to 100 pips, which is not exactly anything. Just the average range in here is around 160, 162, the average daily. So yeah, let's see how price may react. Right now it already made a strong push down, and yeah. uh, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, it may continue to move a little bit forward in here, so we'll see. But I like that we are starting to break a little bit of a few highs in here, but maybe make it go a little bit lower, just increase a little bit more the speed of this push down, so then you can actually turn and have an interesting move in here on the dollar yen. Mm, 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 mm. Euro yen just made another leg down, and we are getting closer into this level, and potentially we can look for price to go even more. Price could even take everything in here and getting into this level. However, do have this basically quasi mode in there as well, which can be quite interesting. Somewhere from that level, price could react from, and then something in here as well could play out. So that's something to bear in mind. Again, this is a little bit of a recovery. And again, price has been overextended, as you can see, like literally quite aggressively since basically full month of November for the last month or so. Even though the euro yen in this case took quite a while until it starts gaining the momentum, but the momentum is definitely here. Now we can look at the weekly time frames, basically 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fifth potential weekly bearish candle that we have, and price is literally now approaching this demand zone, right, that we have in here on the weekly time frame. Looking at the daily, yeah, a monthly doesn't really look like that. But yeah, that's something to bear in mind. Our price may actually react from that zone. Yeah, we will see. It's going to be quite interesting. Yeah, pound yen, same thing. I would like to see it going a little bit lower. I think there's maybe a little bit of a space in here that price could eventually go towards too. So we did manage to break below that level. That's basically the target. Initially kind of holding a little bit, but then kind of breaking it. No surprise whatsoever. This is just kind of to attract people into buys to then get get faked out, but basically taking everything from them. So that's what we have in here on the pound yen. Attention, the first target, of course, for any kind of reversal can be the retest of this structure, which can work as well as a potential continuation here on the pound yen if prices want to do that. But I would like to see some reaction from here, and that's one of the trades or opportunities that I'm going to be looking for, is to short to short the yen index and to go long on the individual yen pair. So I'm going to try to find a good opportunity. All right, so we do have now this structure. This can be used a little bit as liquidity. All right, you can use these lows as a reference. Of course, this level is still perhaps fresh in here, but I will definitely keep an eye on this one to see if you do have that opportunity. All right, and if price by any chance goes below that, which I wouldn't be surprised if we did, so just pausing where it is, maybe we could find some buying pressure in there. Yeah, so we will see. But that's definitely something that I'll be paying attention to. Not only pound yen, but also euro yen, Aussie yen, dollar yen as well, depending on what the dollar is going to do. Can be a little bit of a tricky one, but maybe price can navigate a little bit closer to this level, and then we'll see what's going to happen in there. Then we also have CAD yen. CAD yen can also be interesting. All right, so that's something to keep an eye on as price continues to move forward, as we all can see in here. Basically, a great reaction from that level. That's something that we looked for. You can see how much time price spent in the kind of this distribution phase at around this level, breaking structure until eventually turned in there. All right, again, that's basically from since basically last week or so, and again, quite quickly making the move. There was even orders left behind in here, so no surprise with that one. And now potentially getting or looking to see price getting a little bit closer to something like this. All right, so price could go all the way. It's basically already taken as well, so that could be going out in this favor. And yeah, we could see price definitely getting a little bit closer to this level, and that's a zone that I want to keep an eye on, and I think can be quite interesting for a reaction. All right, otherwise then price just goes all the way and gets into the next zone in here as well, which perhaps can still fresh as well. So those are just the two levels in here that I'll be definitely looking for on the CAD yen. Yep. So setting up the alerts, paying attention also the way price is moving away from this level, not this one. Yeah, we'll see, but that looks good. Dollar CAD's an interesting one. So again, it completely bullish, of course, with that strong move, but now good reaction from that level. Eventually, I would like it to see going a little bit higher, but we do have now distraction, right? And something to pay attention is that we did manage to break that low in there, so that's something that we need to be aware of in terms of the dollar CAD. Is that price managed to break below that level, which means that potentially can go, or this move in here could actually be eventually selling opportunity. And now good reaction from the demand zone, nothing against it, great reaction, took the trend line, came back even one more time, and then start looking quite bullish. And we'll see how price may react from here, and perhaps can go all the way, can go even higher, and eventually can even take this this high as well. So that's something to bear in mind in here. All right, reacting from that level. Yeah, we'll see if there's a continuation here. EuroCAD. Alright, so EuroCAD kind of corrected last week, right, with that big move, and now basically reacting from this from the supply, basically the origin of that push down. Basically that's where price is reacting, and potentially can even break new lows in here. Alright. Alright. So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen at around that level. Pound CAD. Yeah, pound CAD reacted very nicely as well from here. Started to fake out these highs. I would like it to go maybe slightly higher before turning. Okay, could get a little bit closer to here. Already got really close into that zone. But yeah, I would like it to go slightly higher, and then you could start finding a bit more selling pressure in here, right? But this is something to keep an eye on as well. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I want to keep an eye on this level. Keep an eye on that level. Dollar franc Swiss correcting a little bit to the upside after taking a little bit of that structure, just reacting from this previous level. This can be seen a little bit as an engulf to the downside, so I am going to be curious to see how dollar franc Swiss is going to react around that level. We do have this gap in here that can still be closed, so that's something to bear in mind. Looking a little bit more to the left side, price is reacting from a really interesting level. Of course, there's maybe a few others above, but this is a really good one, which means that this can actually still keep staying there, keep holding, and price could eventually go a little bit closer to this level and then looking for the sell, right? And again, of course, you can close that gap in there, so that's definitely something to pay attention to in here. Yeah, on dollar franc Swiss, I think definitely something to pay attention. So that's definitely on the radar for a potential sell opportunity. Now, this is, I believe, the opening of the daily candle. Like, if you're about to ignore that, we do have then even a break to the downside in here, which means that this can actually almost be seen as an engulf down. We never really had price kind of retesting something in here to go higher, which means that this value is still fresh as well, which means that price has quite a it can work as a magnetic for price to visit that level once again, which means it's a great opportunity to potentially short from the highs towards there. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. The gold, right? Gold just continues to be within this range, so not really much. In here, it's just ranging at this point. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what gold's going to do. We have clear levels a little bit more up and down that we are potentially looking for. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen around this structure. Is price going to just retest and go? That's just something to bear in mind. Yeah, silver, more of the same as well, kind of a little bit in this range again, breaking slightly that low, which can still open door eventually to go further down. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. We do have this structure as well in here, and that price didn't really reacted from it. So yeah, we'll see. Eventually, I would like to see silver getting closer to this level, and after that, we'll see what's going to happen. Then we have oil as well, which at this point, oil continues to push a little bit lower, getting really close now to this demand zone. Start breaking slightly new highs in there. Again, the compression is visible. Price break the low, kind of retest, and then go down again. So we started to take some of these selling orders as price is moving to the downside, kind of collecting the orders from the supply level, and we'll see how price may react from here, right? We'll see what kind of PA we're going to have, and then eventually it's the opposite, right? It's now price going higher, everyone trying to look for ways to get long as well. So yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. Yeah, and that's basically it. So that's it for today's pre-market analysis. Just to recap, we have the dollar with the question mark if price actually is going to get a little bit closer to those highs on the dollar, which can lead into a potential double top setup, and is the exactly same but the opposite on the euro dollar. Is price getting closer a little bit to these lows to potentially look for a long or not. The pound dollar, it's a bit more in the middle. I could still see a bit more bullishness as well on the pound dollar. And to be honest, the level we're from, maybe it could be even this one or potentially a little bit more. Now we'll see. It's a bit in the middle again, as you know. Don't really like to look at it in the middle. Aussie, good reaction, really good reaction from those lows. The problem with Aussie for me is that I'm not really satisfied with what price is in the bigger picture. I could still see price continue to move a little bit lower, so that's something to bear in mind as well, even when looking at the euro Aussie, potentially pound Aussie as well. So we'll see also what's going to happen in here, if price kind of eventually react from something in there, and then it can move from there. Yeah, New Zealand quite bullish in here as well, so we'll see how price may react. It got to one of the targets, was definitely that one, not exactly this one, but that one, and we still have a few levels in here that price can still bounce from, so that's one to bear in mind. Price just broke this basically low. I could continue to see a little bit more bearish in here until it gets closer to something in there. So that's another one. Gold and silver, not really touching them right now. And then the N pairs, in my opinion, for me, they are the interesting ones to try. That I see the N index quite overextended at this point, and I could expect some reaction, a little bit of a reversal, or at least some retracement across some of the N pairs. I talk about euro yen, maybe pound yen as well, right? And the lows where price just reacted right now, they are kind of okay. We may have also Aussie yen as well to pay attention to, even CAD yen as well. And then US indices, just to finish, the US indices with S&P breaking new all-time highs. We'll see if you're going to have a fake out and price starts to break those lows and potentially look for move to downside or not. Nasdaq, are we going to break new all-time highs or not on Nasdaq, or if this high is going to hold, right? That's going to be interesting. And DAX, which had a strong momentum, broke everything with a lot of momentum, now also breaking and at all-time highs, which is going to be interesting as well to see if this is just a fade or if it's actually to sustain and continue to go higher. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much. Join me tomorrow again. Feel free to also comment below which pairs are you going to be trading tomorrow, and let me know. Let me know if you're getting value from the streams. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Obrigado.